Welcome back to day 10 of our Lent readings for 2025 based on the Psalms. And today we're looking at Psalm 29. So let's read together. Ascribe to the Lord, you heavenly beings. Ascribe to the Lord glory and strength. Ascribe to the Lord the glory due his name. Worship the Lord in the splendour of his holiness. The voice of the Lord is over the waters. The God of glory thunders. The Lord thunders over the mighty waters. The voice of the Lord is powerful. The voice of the Lord is majestic. The voice of the Lord breaks the cedars. The Lord breaks in pieces the cedars of Lebanon. He makes Lebanon leap like a calf, Sirion like a young wild ox. The voice of the Lord strikes with flashes of lightning. The voice of the Lord shakes the desert. The Lord shakes the desert of Kadesh. The voice of the Lord twists the oak and strips the forests bare. And in his temple all cry, Glory. The Lord sits enthroned over the flood. The Lord is enthroned as King forever. The Lord gives strength to his people. The Lord blesses his people with peace. This psalm begins with a reference to the heavenly beings that constantly offer worship to the Lord, and ends with a reference to the Lord being enthroned. You might instantly bring to mind Isaiah 6, where Isaiah has a vision of the Lord enthroned with the heavenly beings, seraphim, crying out, Holy, 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 amidst thunder and lightning, worshipping the Lord upon his throne. Though this might seem an obvious reference, this is actually a psalm of David and was written long before Isaiah was even born, let alone had a vision of the throne room of God. But for David, the presence of God is associated with thunder and lightning. Certainly that was evident when Moses ascended Mount Sinai into the Lord's presence in Exodus 20, when the thunder shook the mountain. What seems to have provoked the imagery in this psalm to David is watching an approaching storm in all its power, majesty and destructiveness, and it has turned his mind to God. It starts out in verse 3 and 4 over the sea, then comes ashore in the north around Lebanon, then it sweeps to the south to Kadesh, the extreme south of Judah, passing over the whole country. Under its power, the very fabric of the world seems to tremble. The waters, the desert, the trees, the animals. To those who do not know the Lord, the storm is a powerful natural phenomenon, something that they have no control over. It's scary with the potential to cause great destruction. But to the Lord's people, it's a display of his power. At the sight of it, all who know the Lord cry, Glory. Now let's jump to the New Testament and Mark 4. Jesus is asleep in a boat with the disciples when a storm blows up. It must have been significant because the disciples wake Jesus in a panic and fear for their lives, and some of these were experienced fishermen. Jesus stands up, turns towards the wind and the waves and says, Still, be quiet. Suddenly everything goes quiet. 1 minute the disciples are terrified of the storm and afraid that they would drown. Next minute, they're sitting in calm waters, but now they're terrified of what they've just witnessed. No wonder they whisper to one another, Who is this, that even the wind and waves obey him? This psalm draws on a storm to highlight God's majesty and power. But his actual power is far greater. It only takes a word from him to stop any storm in its tracks. The theologian Don Carson says of Psalm 29, It is best simply to let the wonder and awesomeness of this psalm sweep and swirl around us until we are so possessed in spirit by the majesty of the Lord that we too cry glory. Until next time, have a blessed day. you.